This is the CitizenLink report.
If you find our insights helpful, would you support our video efforts? $500 buys an hour of studio time. And we usually don't use a whole hour, but it covers the crew, lights, cameras, all that. That means your gift of $25 or more goes a long ways. Just click on Donate. Thanks from all of us. The federal government is giving a couple Christian colleges an extra year before they'll be forced to follow a mandate that's in opposition to their beliefs. Is it a kind gesture, or is something else going on? This is the CitizenLink report. I'm Stuart Shepard along with Bruce Hausknecht, our judicial analyst. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Stuart.
Tell us what's happening at Wheaton College.
Well, Wheaton is involved in a lawsuit against the federal government over what's called the HHS mandate, sometimes called the contraceptive mandate.
Right.
All goes back to Obamacare, which was passed in 2010. In that multi-thousand page document, it required that some of the definitions be left up to the Department of Health and Human Services. And that's what they've done. The HHS has issued an order back in January, finalized in February, that said that large employers and small employers that choose to provide employment health plans must provide certain preventive services. And one of the definitions of preventive services had to do with contraceptives, sterilizations, and possible abortion causing drugs. Yeah. And a lot of employers, religious and secular, have objected to that because it violates their religious conscience.
Now, that was to go into effect this month, right?
That's correct. And with one exception that's kind of relevant to what's happened at Wheaton, and that is that religious employers who didn't quite fit the first exemption that really only applies to churches, if at all, but larger nonprofit religious employers like colleges, universities, nonprofits in general, had been given a 1 year, what's called a safe harbor, to figure out how to comply with this mandate to provide these contraceptives in their health care plans.
Right.
And that would carry us over till next year. Well, some of those nonprofits, some of those colleges like Wheaton College didn't fit under that 1 year safe harbor rule because they didn't meet the very narrowly drawn definitions.
So essentially Wheaton was supposed to already be following this mandate, but then they got stuck because they were trying to contest it, but yet here they are now. It's the end of August. They haven't followed the mandate. They could be taken to court over it.
That's right. And they filed a lawsuit in July asking the court for some kind of relief from the August 1 deadline to begin complying. Yeah. And the government actually filed a motion to dismiss that lawsuit, and saying that you have another year to comply. Well, Wheaton was saying, we don't fit the definition in the safe harbor rule. We don't get the extra year. We're hurt now. So the administration revised the rule so that Wheaton would now fit the definition of the religious organization that would be exempted for another year.
Which brings us to this question. Is the government being helpful, or is there something else going on?
Well, there's always something else going on with regard to Obamacare. Number one, it's such a confusing piece of legislation that it's hard to even write regulations for it because there's too many people to be covered, too many organizations it's attempting to regulate. Right. And two, of course, they want to buy time. They don't want to address a lawsuit now. There have been 25 lawsuits filed so far against the HHS mandate. And so they don't want to deal with them at any time, let alone right now. And of course, we're staring at an election where one of the main issues is about Obamacare, let's be real, and they would like to see that any kind of court action delayed until after November.
So then the question is, no one knows for sure whether it's being done specifically for the election, but the timing certainly is a curiosity. Is that a good way to phrase it?
Well, it has been a curiosity ever since the HHS mandate was finalized in January and February, because there were these deadlines that were out there. There was the August deadline, but there have been a lot of attempts under Obamacare to push regulations, costs, taxes, what have you, past the election so that it doesn't become an election issue.
Now, I don't expect you to be an expert on every court case that's ever been held in the history of the country or anything, ever been tried, but is this a common maneuver to try to move things past a certain date for one reason or another, a little jostling in the courtroom, if you will?
Perhaps not so much to move past a certain date. That I think is very specific to this election, but government entities love to change their policies in order to get out of lawsuits that they've been sued by.
All right. Well, Bruce, thank you for your insights on this. Thanks for keeping track of it. I'm sure we'll be checking back in with you as we go along. And thanks to all of you who watch our videos here on the CitizenLink Report. We do appreciate hearing from you. You may always write to us at mail@citizenlink.com. We read every note that comes in. Don't always get to answer all of them, but we do love hearing your comments, your criticisms, whatever you might like to share with us. We encourage you to pray for Christian colleges in particular and Christian employers of all kinds who are trying to figure out how to navigate this, whether to go to court, whether to give in, or whether to just try to figure out some way to work through this difficult situation. And remember, stand tall and be heard.